The Underground Railroad Society of Cass County, URSCC. The mission of URSCC is to provide a focal point for exploration into the origins and activities of the Underground Railroad, the unique role the people of Cass County and the surrounding area played throughout its existence, and how it impacted local, state, and national history. Cass County and the Underground Railroad. Quakers are a religious group that opposed slavery, calling it a sin against God and man. Quaker Levi Coffin of Wayne County, Indiana, is called the president of the Underground Railroad. He and his wife Catherine helped over 2,000 slaves to find freedom in Canada. Quaker families from southern slave states migrated to Wayne County to escape the hated institution of slavery. They came north to Cass County, Michigan in the 1830s and 40s, settling in Penn, Calvin, and Porter townships. They formed the Young's Prairie Anti-Slavery Friends Meeting in 1843, adding stations to the Quaker line of the Underground Railroad and creating a refuge for freedom seekers from all over the South, especially the border state of Kentucky. According to early Cass County histories, the homes of Quakers Stephen Bogue, Zachariah Shugart, Josiah Osborne, and Ishmael Lee were Underground Railroad stations of much importance. The Stephen Bogue house still stands at M60 and Crooked Creek Road. Quaker abolitionist William Jones' house at M60 and Guards Prairie Road is also a noted Underground Railroad station, as is the Carriage House, built by James E. Bonine at M60 and Calvin Center Road. It's claimed that over 1,500 freedom seekers passed through Cass County on their way to Canada on a route through Schoolcraft, Battle Creek, Jackson, Ann Arbor, Detroit, and finally Windsor. Well-known Cass County Underground Railroad conductors were Zachariah Shugart and African-American Henry Shepard. Freedom seekers leaving Vandalia were escorted to the home of Dr. Nathan and Pamela Thomas in Schoolcraft. Their home is restored and open to the public. From there, another conductor escorted them to the home of Erastus and Susan Hussey in Battle Creek. There was so much Underground Railroad activity in the area around Vandalia that Henry Clay called it that hotbed of abolitionism on the floor of the U.S. Congress. African-American churches played a significant role in the Underground Railroad. Chain Lake Baptist Church, formed in 1838, is one of the oldest African-American churches in Michigan. Mount Zion AME was organized in 1849. Free black families who arrived in the mid-1840s include the Andersons, Stewarts, Wilsons, and Allens. They also formed an anti-slavery society and played pivotal roles in the Underground Railroad and the Kentucky Raid. Freedom seekers continued to arrive in Cass County, many going on to Canada on the Underground Railroad, but some staying in relative safety to work on Quaker-owned farms. Freedom seekers living in cabins on various Quaker farms were targets in the infamous Kentucky Raid of 1847. A settlement of about 30 cabins on 10-acre plots on property purchased by James E. Bonine in 1853 came to be called Ramptown, after a wild leek that grew in the area. In exchange for clearing the land, freedom seekers and free black families could earn money and send their children to school. When the arrangement ended, many purchased their own farms and prospered. The Kentucky Raid. Shown here is the mural titled Sanctuary and Deliverance in Cass County, painted on a wall in downtown Cassopolis. Frustrated with the constant loss of their property, Kentucky planters banded together in hopes of retrieving their slaves rumored to be living among the Quakers in Cass County. In August of 1847, a group of 13 Kentucky slave catchers broke into smaller parties and proceeded to various settlements, including the Bogue, East, Osborne, and Shugart farms, capturing 9 freedom seekers. Perry Sanford, shown here, was residing in one of the Stephen Bogue cabins when the raid occurred. His eyewitness account can be found on our website. Word of the kidnapping spread quickly, and a large group of people gathered to stop the Kentuckians, including Quakers, free blacks, and other townspeople. The crowd estimates are from 100 to 300. A confrontation ensued at Odell's Mill in Vandalia, and because they were outnumbered and believed the law was clearly on their side because of the Fugitive Slave Act of 1793, the Kentuckians agreed to go to court in Cassopolis. Sitting in for Cass Circuit Court Commissioner was the Berrien Commissioner, Ebenezer McIlvaine, a secret abolitionist and Underground Railroad conductor from Niles. Freedom seekers and other African Americans were allowed to bring charges and to testify against the slave catchers in court, unheard of at that time. McIlvaine found for the fugitives on a legal technicality. The 9 fugitives and 30 other freedom seekers were all able to escape on the Underground Railroad, conducted by Zachariah Shugart and Henry Shepard. They were taken to the home of Dr. Nathan and Pamela Thomas in Schoolcraft. The Kentuckians went home empty-handed, but later sued in district court in Detroit. That case was settled and eventually dismissed, with the Kentuckians again receiving nothing for their trouble. The outcome of the Kentucky raid and the later trial in Detroit incensed Southern slaveholders. It added fuel to Southern demands for a more stringent fugitive slave law, which was passed in 1850, making it much more dangerous to be a freedom seeker or to harbor them. This law, authored by Henry Clay, became one of the primary factors that led to the Civil War. Even though much more dangerous, Cass County Quakers, free blacks, and other abolitionists continued to help freedom seekers find their way to freedom on the Underground Railroad. One historian says, "The story of the Underground Railroad in Cass County is one of cooperation, respect, and mutual trust to combat the hated institution of slavery. The interdependency of these groups created a unique environment that helped minimize racism, promote cooperation between the races, and create an African American community unique to the North." You can find much more information about Cass County and the Underground Railroad and URSCC on our website, urscc.org. You can download our 19-site Cass County Underground Railroad self-guided driving tour. You will also learn about our current capital projects. URSCC purchased the James E. Bonine House and Carriage House in December 2010, with the goal of restoring the Bonine House as a community events and Underground Railroad education center, and the Carriage House as a station on the Underground Railroad and a period farm museum. In 2018, the Stephen Bogue House was donated to URSCC. Visitors can go in the attic where freedom seekers were hidden and look out the windows where Perry Sanford witnessed part of the Kentucky raid. Brownsville School in Calvin Township is an 1840s one-room schoolhouse integrated from the day it opened until it closed in 1957. Brownsville School was donated to URSCC in 2020. Restoring these iconic buildings and their legacy of freedom is a labor of love and a true community project. Thank you.